everybody. Sylvia Groves from Governance Studio here again. And we're back into the series about some fiercely practical steps to creating great board minutes. And so this is the fourth in our 12th part series. And today we're going to be looking at part of kind of the opening paragraph or paragraphs that you'll have in your minutes, kind of before the minutes themselves really start to get going. And so, as always, I'm going to share with you here from my DiliTrust board portal. I'm going to go into my meetings. I'm going to navigate down here to 2022, take a look at August. Opening up the agenda. So this will be familiar if you've been with me throughout the series, but we're going to go and we're going to look back at those May minutes. So they're getting approved here in August. And so there's the minutes are here. I just click on them and lo and behold, they show up just perfectly. And so I know we're talking about the opening paragraph, but I'm actually really just going to be talking about the very first part of this paragraph. So this first line here, which I don't know that it highlights. Oh yeah, it does there a little bit for you. Just again, because I want to take you through very deliberately, very step by step, and make sure that you're getting all the things that really ought to be included in your minutes. I know there's lots of organizations that I've worked with that just dispense with this whole paragraph. They don't put anything here. They just go into the business of the meeting, which is not ideal. It's better to set out some of the really important things that show that the meeting was properly set up for doing business. And the two things we're looking at here today is who was the chair of the meeting and who was the secretary of the meeting. So the chair is the person that is calling the meeting to order, guiding the directors or the committee members through the various items on the agenda, making sure that resolutions are passed when they need to, all of those good things. So that chair, so who is that person going to be? And in most cases, it's going to be the chair of that body. So if it's the chair of the board, it will be, in this case, just as it is, Darla Drake, who's the chair of the board. So Ms. Darla Drake, board chair, acted as chair of the meeting. But it's really important when you're doing minutes to understand what happens if Darla isn't there. Who acts as chair in her place? So you need to understand that, and you need to have some familiarity with your bylaws, because that's most likely the place where that's going to be set out. Occasionally, if you're a statutory organization, it might be set out in your statute, but most often it's going to be in your bylaws. And it will say something like, you know, if there's a vice chair, the vice chair is the person who chairs the meeting. Or it might just simply say the directors can choose one of their number as the person to chair the meeting. If that was the case, though, I would be really clear about that. So, for example, if Jason Jones was the chair of the meeting because Darla was absent and he was chosen from the directors that were present, it would say something like Mr. Jason Jones, in the absence of the board chair, acted as chair of the meeting as chosen by the directors. So just be really clear about who was the chair and how they got to be in that position. The second item, of course, is the secretary. So a lot of organizations have a secretary appointed. It could be a member of management, some not-for-profit organizations, it might even be a board member. And if that person is taking the minutes and is being the secretary of the meeting, then I would just simply say that they were the secretary. However, if it's someone else that's taking the minutes of the meeting, and you can see in this case, I've put my name in there as recording secretary, and here Sylvia Groves acted as recording secretary. So that means I'm not the appointed secretary for ABC Company, but I'm acting as secretary in that role for this meeting. And so that's how you can distinguish if you're not the actual secretary. That's how you can make sure it's clear that you were the recording secretary. The one other item I'd note for you about this is you'll see again here, Darla Drake, Sylvia Groves. Those are the exact same ways the names were set out above here. So again, think about always keeping that matching. If you remember from the earlier session, if you were able to join us, that it's really important to use the names that people were appointed or elected using, whether or not they had initials or if it was first and last name. So again, we're just trying to build up that consistency all the way through the minutes. So I know that's a lot of information for one little sentence in the minutes, and that's why I'm going to stop this first paragraph at that first part. Next episode, we'll look at the second part of that paragraph, and then we'll have the opening all done, and we can move on from there. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next session. In the meantime, happy minutes.